Kare, Japanese, like probably the national dish of Japan, one of the most popular dishes in Japan, home cooking. I grew up eating this. We made it at home using curry blocks, either SMB or House or there are a few different brands. But today I'm going to make it from using curry powder. So not totally from scratch, but a little bit more from scratch than just using the curry blocks. Although the vast majority of Japanese people would just use the blocks. All right, so I'm going to start by sauteing some chicken and making my curry base. I'm using clarified butter here because we currently cannot have any milk protein in the house, or at least in anything that my wife is going to eat. So clarified butter is just the butter fat, none of the protein, none of the water. But you can, of course, use whole butter. That's a few tablespoons of butter right there. We're going to heat it up till it's ready to sear. Meanwhile, I'm going to get some other ingredients ready. So curry, it's been around in Japan since the mid 19th century, brought over by British Army or British Navy. I don't remember the exact history, but it was initially used to feed the Japanese Navy, and so now, but then then eventually came over to the mainland, became a very popular dish, and so it's kind of this weird hybrid between, it's like it's a British version of Indian food. So it's British curry, but translated through a Japanese lens as well. So in Japan, it's actually considered Western food, even though it originates in India, but it's a long way from any kind of actual Indian food. That said, it's still good. It's delicious. So that's the reason why you see these British ingredients like potatoes and onions and carrots in this dish, and why it's made with curry powder. So Japanese curry powder, S&B brand is like the classic Japanese curry powder. It's made with like turmeric, cloves, cardamom, fenugreek, star anise, cumin probably. I'm not sure of all the ingredients in there, but there's a sort of distinct flavor. If you can't find Japanese curry powder, you can use something like a canned Madras curry powder, some kind of British curry powder. And that'll work just fine for this. But of course, you can probably find SMB in any Japanese market, super popular, and in the international section of many supermarkets as well. All right, so I've got a Yukon Gold potato, a carrot I'm chopping up. I'm making like four-ish portions right now. Oop, our butter is hot, so my chicken is going to go in. This is diced chicken breast. Actually, it's a little too hot. I'll let that cool a little bit. We don't have to worry about it burning too much because, as I said, all of the milk solids are out of there, so even if it gets a little brown, you're not going to get the terrible sort of burnt butter flavor that you would get if you were using whole butter. All right, we'll let that chicken sear a little bit. And then we'll start adding our other ingredients. All right, potatoes and carrots. I'm gonna use about half an onion for this. And for this onion, I like having kind of chunky slivers of onion, which is how my grandmother made this dish, or my mother made it as well. So, kind of chunky slivers like that. Okay. See how our chicken's doing. So that may seem like quite a bit of butter in there, and it is, but we're using more butter than we need to sear the chicken because we're going to use that butter to make the roux, the base for our curry. So unlike, an Indian curry dish, this one is thickened with a butter and flour roux. You could also use oil and flour if you want. Some salt. Oops. Some white pepper. You can use black pepper. Alright, so that chicken's going for a bit. I'm gonna add my onion in there now. Let that go a bit. Meanwhile, I'm gonna chop up some ginger and garlic. So garlic, cut off the ends. Give it a little smash. Peel should come right off. It is the easiest way I know to peel garlic. Easier than the whole bowl shaking thing. Alright, then nice big smash. You can also feel free to use a garlic press. I would just avoid using pre-minced garlic. Although if you like pre-minced garlic, do what suits you. Okay. Give our onions and chicken a little stir. This is a real quick dish, by the way, and you know, if you have the curry sauce, it's even quicker, or the curry blocks, it's even quicker. But even without them, just the can of curry paste, super quick. Get some ginger, just a few little slices like that. I'm gonna lay them out, and then give them a good smash. Take off any skins. I don't really mind having little bits of ginger skin because this is pretty tender young ginger, but any sort of big piece of skin you can discard like that. Hi, Shabu. Shabu is getting old. It's night right now, so the kids are asleep. So the other dog, I know people often ask me if they don't see one of the dogs in the video, they ask if the dog's okay. The other dog is fine. He's asleep in my daughter's room right now, which is, he comes in every night at story time and then stays there for the rest of the night. All right. Garlic and ginger in. A little saute. So we're just looking to gently soften the onions for that onion and ginger to get garlic and ginger to get a little fragrant. Then we're gonna go right in with our curry paste. So that was a few tablespoons of butter. So I'm gonna go about maybe 2/3 the amount of curry paste. So maybe 3 tablespoons of curry, do a little touch extra. And then our flour. Stir that tasting, get a little nice and toasty.